The Kansas City Chiefs have made a variety of moves to try and make sure this offense isn't inconsistent like they were last season. They've made additions like Hollywood Brown and Irv Smith Jr. who are going to help elevate this offense. They also will be potentially drafting offensively in the draft as well, maybe a receiver in the first round. But what has happened with this team this offseason is they have lost quite a few pieces to their team, but they also have made a ton of re-signings to keep the core pieces intact. By dropping MVS and losing a lot of key guys like Snead, Townsend, Willie Gay, Mike Edwards, for example, the Chiefs were able to free up a ton of cap space that they didn't have. Mahomes was also able to restructure his contract to free up some extra money as well. They did sign Mike Dana to a 3-year deal worth up to $24 million, which the Chiefs were expected to bring him back, and the fact they were able to get him on a long-term contract is great. He's a key guy to this interior. Mike Dana is a vet that still plays at a really high level, so having him back long-term and with Chris Jones is always good. But what I have been seeing going around is the Chiefs are potentially interested in signing free agent Tyler Boyd. I personally think this signing would be very beneficial to this offense if the Chiefs can sign him to a cheaper contract. They still have a decent amount of cap space available to get this signing done. Adding another solid receiver to this offense would be very beneficial because Tyler Boyd as a third option for Joe Burrow has come up very consistently for him. He has been in the league for some time now, so having him with a lot of experience would be good as well for this young receiving core. The Chiefs wouldn't be asking him to go out there and get 1,000 yards a season or anything like that. They just need another solid option for Mahomes outside of Rasheed and Hollywood Brown. Rasheed is already in a situation of his own, and we aren't sure how long he will be suspended, if he even will be. The investigations are still going on, and we don't have any new information other than what we already know by now. Rasheed and Hollywood Brown on paper is a great duo and will be the best offense Mahomes has had since Tyreek was traded, so why not add another veteran receiver who can get you at least 500 yards a season and come up big when you need him to. Having 3 good receivers for Mahomes would be deadly since we haven't seen Mahomes have his deep ball game in a few years, and he's already won an MVP and 2 Super Bowls without the best offense on paper, so giving him a talent like this will be scary to see. It will be interesting already to see Rice and Hollywood Brown in a game together since Hollywood Brown is a proven deep threat and has so much to prove with Mahomes. If you add another proven veteran receiver to what Mahomes can already do, it sets this offense up for the three-peat. There's a lot of people saying the Chiefs can't even get it done after signing Mike Dana because the cap space is slim, but honestly I don't think Boyd can get a contract in the upwards of $15 to $17 million like people are saying. I believe if the offer was right, he would take a pay cut to play with the best quarterback in the league and compete for a ring. He's already been on the other side of the Chiefs and Bengals rivalry, if you would want to call it one, and has played in a Super Bowl, but wasn't able as a team to beat the Rams that year. Why not take less money to compete? I also feel like it could be possible that most remaining free agents are waiting for decent contracts, but it's hard to tell since the draft is creeping up, and before we know it, training camp and preseason will be here. The Chiefs, especially now with Rasheed Rice possibly missing some time, need to do what they can to fill in the gap that is now open. This offense already consistently struggled throughout the whole entire regular season last year. They didn't seem to look consistent until the playoffs, which is a great thing, but you want the offense to look good all year round. If the Chiefs pick up another solid receiver outside of the draft, it takes a little bit of stress off their shoulders as well. A lot of Chiefs fans in mock drafts have the Chiefs getting one of the Texas receivers being Adonai Mitchell or 40-yard dash record holder Xavier Worthy, but honestly it would be really surprising if they were still available. If anything, I do see Xavier dropping to the Chiefs. If anything, I would honestly be surprised if the Chiefs did end up trading up in this year's draft after all the offseason moves, but Brett Veach and the rest of the scouting team always do a great job when it comes to selecting draft picks, so I'm not too worried about the Chiefs draft selections. It would separate them from a lot of other teams though if they had one more solid receiver. We saw Stephon Diggs go to the Texans, and now the offense consists of 3 solid receivers. It's just something you want to see Mahomes with. Well, that's if you're a Chiefs fan at least. But Mahomes hasn't had a high producing offense since Tyreek has left. Even though he won an MVP and had the #1 offense in 2022, we still don't see much of the deep ball that we saw early on in his career. I think this upcoming season Mahomes will be able to do a lot more of that again since they have a proven deep ball threat in Hollywood Brown and Rasheed Rice when he's able to play, if he even misses time, but he's going to continue to progress through his entire career. There aren't too many other free agent receivers available, but I think Tyler Boyd would be the best fit for this team financially too regarding their cap space situation. The Chiefs may have lost some core pieces to this team, but they still kept most of the core group. That's why this offense needs to be producing highly so the defense does not have another year carrying every game, because last year most of the wins was because of the defense, and in the playoffs the defense stepped up when it mattered the most and proved why they were one of the best defenses in the league, and that's not a problem to have. To have a good enough defense that can basically win you games itself is a great thing. But if you have a defense like that and also have a high producing offense, that's when it becomes overpowered. And the Chiefs can fully separate themselves from other teams because last year they had a really good defense, a really good quarterback, but an okay offense. But now next year they'll have a really good defense still, a really good quarterback, and an offense which we've never seen in the Mahomes era. From 2018 to 2021, even 2022 when Mahomes won his second Super Bowl, that defense wasn't the best, but it did have its moments that made you wonder what it could turn into. And it took time for this defense to get where it is. But that's why you have to take advantage and score the most points as possible when getting consistent stops. This defense last year was the first team in NFL history to not allow over 28 points in 20 out of 21 games. They were also the league's youngest defense. By giving the Chiefs another weapon like Tyler Boyd, it will give them that extra push they need to put them back in that high-producing offense that we were so used to seeing with Mahomes. Like I mentioned, the Chiefs aren't going to be asking him to go out there and give him 1,000 yards or anything crazy like that. They already have 3 receivers that can get them 1,000 yards each themselves next season, the third one being Travis Kelce. Boyd would be a consistent weapon for Mahomes and would just help open the field up even more for Kelce, who was getting doubled and triple teamed every game last year. Kelce was very close to another 1,000 yard season last year, and now that the Chiefs have more depth, it'll be interesting to see if he'll even reach that milestone again. The Chiefs signing Irv Smith Jr. as well helps out this offense a ton when it comes to making them even deeper. The Chiefs have just been making every right move and should be considering giving Tyler Boyd an offer.